No, dude, I hate this. Remind me to message Joe today at 2 p.m.
You guys also enjoy watching boomers try to figure out how to work their technology. It's so interesting. You just see it kind of like bounce off of his eyes.
You ever see that meme thing where there was like a mother replying to like a group chat of like someone passing away or something like that, and she said like "rip" with like the skull emojis, not realizing that that's like it's supposed to be a funny thing.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, that camera looks not great.
It's fine. It'll kind of draw the attention to the fact that we're both wearing orange.
Well, don't you think the TV is all crooked?
No,
I think
it's centered.
Let us know in the comments.
Perhaps.
It's all right.
There we go. Now it's fixed.
I sent Miles the clip of us in the Tremor video where we were talking about sending him the box of All Brand because he's brandman.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I will take this off. I'm getting toasty. This is a jacket after all. I have a long sleeve under this.
This is because Charlie's embarrassed to match me. Now you all will see in the thumbnail, it'll be him in blue and me in orange. But then you'll click on the video and be like,
what? I'm being bamboozled.
Yeah. I am starving also.
You gotta eat, man.
Nah, I can't eat right when I wake up.
Well, just wake up at 7.
I can't wake up at 7. Unless I go to bed at like 10. Then
What time did you go to bed last night?
Well, Emily got home at midnight.
Sure.
And then...
Blame it on her.
I'm not blaming it on her. I'm just telling you why. I probably went to bed at like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
2, I think 2. Because I laid down at 1 and then I was scrolling Craigslist. Because I have to do
go
that
through
to
all
shut
your
my brain off. I've got to go Copart, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. Which Facebook Marketplace has been exceptionally irritating lately.
Really?
It just doesn't work.
Mm.
Like I'll type something in and it'll give me like 4 results and that's it. And I'm like, can I see more? Then the app just like loads and loads and loads and loads and nothing happens.
I've noticed a weird thing with Facebook Marketplace where, for example, because this is the only thing I've ever searched for in the last month, I'll search something like Ford F250.
Yeah.
And it'll display results differently than if I search like Ford F350 or like Ford Super Duty.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like in one case, like if I search 350, it recognizes that as a car model. And so it like tailors the search as though it's a vehicle. But I think it doesn't realize that an F250 is also a vehicle. So it just displays as though I was searching for like red shirt. Like it just doesn't realize that that's like a specific category. It's very stupid.
Interesting. Yeah. No, that makes sense because depending on what you search, your filters are different.
Yes.
And on some vehicles, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's just an ass. Meta just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is why they're banning TikTok because they know they can't compete.
And this might be a little too young for you. Did you ever have a MySpace?
I did not, but my older cousins did.
Okay.
And I watched them scroll it when I was, because we'd be at family functions and they'd be like, I gotta go check MySpace. So they'd go to the computer that was at the house and log in. And I remember there was like, you could have like a song on there.
Yeah.
And like you could change your background of your page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it like, it was like very like customizable.
More like a web page.
Yeah.
And you could also do your top 8.
What's that?
So you'd have like on your home page, imagine if you're on Facebook, it would show like the top 8 or 9 friends that you'd have, and you got to choose
so you could
who
rank
was in
your
that.
friends. Oh, that's
yes.
cool.
It was savage.
You could never do that now.
If you were dating a girl or something like that, she had to be in your top. Like she should be the top 1.
She could be number 1. Yeah.
Yeah. But like if you had to kick somebody out, then it was like, it was a thing. I much preferred MySpace. I held on to MySpace for a while as people were like, oh, Facebook's much better. I'm like, it's so boring. It's the same thing for every page and everything.
Yeah.
And I do think the world would have been a better place had it stuck with MySpace.
Yeah.
Also, Tom was a cooler guy than Mark.
Yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to episode 66 of the Daily Motor Podcast.
We should have gone straight to 67, Charlie, especially with you.
66 isn't a curse number. You gotta have a
okay. You have to have.
If we make it to episode 666, then we'll
skip it.
We can skip.
Can we go from 665 to 667?
Yeah.
When I worked in service at the dealership, we had tags that went in order from 000 to 999, and we'd always skip tag 666 and throw it in the trash.
Was
That was at Buttman.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we skipped it at Honda.
I was gonna say he
Actually,
seems
no, you
like
know
he
what?
would embody
Honda was
666.
4 digits.
Mm.
Buttman was 3 digits on the tags.
Yeah, Tom Buttman seems like a saintly guy.
Which I guess even with 4 digits, you'd still have 0666 or 66660.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't think I wasn't there long enough to find out.
One of my favorite podcasts is the Your Mom's House podcast.
Don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's just 2 comedians.
Is it millennials?
Yeah, I guess they'd be old. They actually might be Gen Xers.
Gen X.
But it's Tom Segura and his wife Christina, and they just hit episode 666 a few months ago, and she like dressed up all goth for it and everything.
That's actually
because she was like a goth for a few years in high school, so she like redid her goth makeup. And I was wondering when you notice that.
What is this? The original American supercar.
Well, think for a moment.
C5Z06. Oh, did you get this from Regular Car Reviews?
Yes.
Because you didn't win the Z06.
No, that's what you purchase in order to put yourself in the running.
Oh, I see.
You can either get a mug or a digital download. So here I am promoting Regular Car Reviews and his promotions. But yeah, you buy that and then you get entered to win.
Okay.
So I figured it'd be a nice addition to the set.
I thought you went to the thrift store and some boomer died and this was his mug.
Pretty boomery, isn't it? It's literally, for those of you listening, it's a white mug with a printed image on it that has a yellow C5Z06 on top of an American flag with bold text on the top and bottom saying the original American supercar.
That's actually a very good description. Everyone's now picturing that. Yeah.
It's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
You have a good week?
Yeah.
You seem like you've been like out of focus this week. Like you've just been kind of like.
I have been. I've been doing a lot of editing this week.
Okay.
Also, my hard drive broke yesterday.
Oh no, one of your portables?
Yeah, that's okay though. It just like
physically internally or one of the connections?
Internally. Oh. Yeah, something happened, but I have a backup, so we're fine.
Sure.
And also, none of my data got like deleted off of it. I can no longer save things to it. I can no longer save to it, and I can no longer put things. Like I just can't put anything on it anymore.
What does
it like
it do?
freaked out. Yeah. It's like
Fails.
Yeah, it says it can't. Like it needs to be reformatted, but if it gets reformatted, it'll wipe it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
we'll take all your data off it, and once you do that, then try reformatting.
Yeah, but then I've got to like put all of my data on something else, and I don't have room on anything else.
In theory, you'll use all the data. You don't need to hold on to everything. Is it a backup drive or is it a work drive?
My main work drive.
Then yeah, so you edit everything that's on it.
Well, everything is edited that's on it.
Well, then wipe it.
But what about my finals? What if you make another channel and like you have in the past and you say we need to have these finals?
You should have your finals on a different backup drive, not your working drive. You know what I mean?
Well, I have some of my finals on a an drive.
You should have like an 8 terabyte drive that's just set aside for
finals.
Only your finals.
If I can't afford all this, Charlie.
Someone donate something in the comments there so Chris can buy himself a new drive.
Somebody buy me an 8 terabyte hard drive.
If you're proper about it, you do it the way the Topher does, because obviously he does everything right. He has what's called a RAID setup. And a RAID setup for drives is 4 hard drives that all balance their storage between the 4 of them so that if any one of them fails, it's got a fail safe to like the other 3.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So he like will never lose his stuff.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I should ask him how to do that.
The way I see it, I'm more okay with deleting footage after a few years, like even finals, because at that point, like if we were to need to start a new channel, like who cares about a 2020 Volkswagen ID.4?
Yeah.
True.
You know. Well, I delete my footage pretty much right away.
Sure.
I'm done editing.
I save raw footage for a month, and I save finals.
That's probably about what I do. I keep some raw footage, like if it's like a really cool car, and I think maybe at some point I want to make a reel out of it. Like GT4 RS, I've kept all that footage.
Yeah.
That's all sitting on there.
Those reels that I made of the Ram TRX with the exhaust.
The shorts?
Yeah, the shorts. Mm-hmm. Sorry. 2 of the section of those were actually from my GoPro. Because I'm shooting in like 8x7.
Yeah, I noticed.
And it's like a taller, so it works pretty well. Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And you probably know this.
Okay.
How do you monetize shorts in the same way that you monetize a regular video, or is it different?
You mean like when you're going through the upload process?
Yeah, because I'm.
Yeah, you just mark
okay, and then how much do you make from them? Is it
not much?
It's less.
I think it's like. Well, here, let's just take a little look.
See like how much you've made from.
Yeah, let's see.
Like your best short.
Great. Yeah, it's remarkably less, but you'd also understand why.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in comparison to something like
just so
TikTok, where you hardly make anything,
good
it
point.
would be.
So now they started a shorts monetization later on, like just a month or two ago.
Yeah.
But silly enough, the best performing short I have is that one with the Volvo V60 where I get out and kick the box.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, 34,000 views.
Okay.
And I've made 28 cents off it, but to be fair, not all of those views were monetized.
I was gonna say, yeah. What about
let's see if it gives me an RPM. Okay, revenue for every 1,000 views, 1 penny.
Okay.
So if you made 10,000 views, it'd be 10 cents. 100,000 views would be $1. Million views would be $10.
Okay, I think that's about what you get on TikTok, actually.
Yeah. That probably sounds about
okay.
Right.
Well.
I mean, it's still, because as you saw, like a viral video could get 4 million views in a matter of a month or so.
Yeah.
So like you're making $40 or $50 off that.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, Instagram's more, because I think we've made So this one that I don't know if Chris would want me to
dox him. Well, not
talk
dox,
about
but
that.
like
But it's more than
money.
It's more than $40.
Yeah. Taxes, man.
Yeah.
Dealing with all that. Yeah.
Yeah, being an adult stresses me out. I just want to go to an island and pick fruit and like have
your Cayman.
Have a Kona N and
a
racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just picture you driving like one-handed around the track with Kona N, eating like a mango.
Eating a mango, yeah.
And then Chris is just a happy camper.
There's nobody there.
Look at that boat. That boat crashed onto an island.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm picturing. And then you take the crashed boat and then you move it, and the whole outside is a racetrack. The whole middle is food.
Sure.
And then you've got a collection of cars there, and then you don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Just don't have to do taxes or anything.
If you could race anything that weren't a car, what would you race?
I don't understand.
Like
a boat?
A boat, bicycle, blimp, your legs. Like if you could just like do like a racing event. Like for example, some people say the most fun they've ever had racing is on like little bikes, like my Grom and stuff. And
that'd be fun. I have a buddy that does that.
Things.
A buddy I went to college with does that, like indoors.
Yeah, like on a go-kart track. Like
yeah,
you can
that looks really
a lot of fun.
Yeah, probably that.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I would love to get a situation where I could put you and Amos on like motorcycles and like a safe, type of situation, because I think you'd both really enjoy them, especially Amos, because he mountain bikes and he's like he's a good driver and everything.
Yeah.
I think he would really love it.
As opposed to me.
No, you're a good driver too.
Not
but you don't mountain bike.
Even close to as good as Amos.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Yep.
Maybe by the time I'm, how old is he? 32, 30.
You'd have to start becoming a racing instructor.
He's 34, isn't he?
You are going to learn how to drive Escort ZX2s really fast.
Oh my goodness,
so
dude. Yeah.
You will be a great driver after that.
That's going to be a fever dream. I've got a, if you all have heard of this, Bobby Orr stunt driving school. I'm going down to Florida to Sebring,
which is a racetrack
in Sebring, to do a 2-day stunt driving school. I've looked into it a little bit. From what I understand is that it's going to be a lot of kind of like in-class teaching, like
learn what to do,
discipline, and then you go out in little Escort ZX2s that are all red.
I imagine those are clapped at all at this point.
I know. They bought them new, so imagine how long they've been in the fleet.
30 years.
20, no, not 30 years. 20. Close to it. Pretty dang close. 25 years probably.
Yeah.
And you go out and you learn how to do like J-turns and drifting and whatever. I don't know. I really don't even know what to expect, because I don't know what they're going to do for 2 days. So I guess we'll see.
Half class, half track probably.
I guess.
Each day.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'm going to try and POV it. I don't know if they're going to let me.
Yeah.
They've been very like wishy-washy, like vague. Like we've asked, like, can we do this? And we'll have to approve it. Kind of like how PEC. So we'll see if they let me. I'm not holding my breath, but at least I'm not going to promote it. Like I'm just going to go. So if it won't be the end of the world if they don't let me film it. It'll just be kind of a bummer, because I want to show everybody what it's like.
The first manual car we get back here, you're going to be like, hey, Charlie, let me show you what I like.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
It's going to be like a Niro or something like that.
Yeah.
You're going to hold the electric parking brake. And
Yeah, so that should be pretty cool. I've got, my flight is booked. The school is booked. The Airbnb is booked.
Just you and Tori?
Going. Yeah.
Cool.
Me and my buddy, Tori.
Have you ever been to Sebring before?
No. No.
Do you think they
I've been
have
to one track in Florida. I don't remember what it was.
Do you think they have a Chrysler Sebring out front, like all shiny and new?
That'd be sick. Maybe
like,
I haven't been to Sebring.
Sebring?
No, I've been to the other one in Florida.
Daytona?
No. Nope.
Yeah.
I think it was closer to Miami.
Oh, well, there's a Miami
Homestead.
Yeah.
I've been to Homestead.
For the NASCAR
I've driven
track or the
around
infield?
Homestead. Have I driven around Homestead? No, I've ridden around Homestead.
Okay.
In a M3.
Oh, what E46?
No, F80. It was when they were new. When I was doing
was
that
this
track
for
tour
your
with BMW.
Yeah, okay.
When I
That
worked
makes
with BMW for 3 months.
Right.
It was an internship type thing. So
you still work
this
for
is
them,
not like I got fired. It just ended.
Yes.
That was
Contract.
cool. My contract
So.
ended. That was sweet. Yeah. We would do that every track. We'd ride around with the Formula Drift drivers, and they would just shred these M3s. Like
That's cool.
they'd literally go through a set of tires in like 2 laps of like Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. So like $1,000 worth of tires gone in 2 laps.
Rip.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I was going to say something.
You were gonna say something.
Your parents
Okay.
are going to bed early enthusiasts.
Yes. Well, my dad gets up at 3 a.m. So yeah. 'Cause
So
he
do you
works
guys
early.
essentially like eat dinner and then they go to bed?
Well, we eat dinner at anywhere from like 5:30 to 6, usually in there, which I feel like is a normal time to eat dinner. It's a little on the early side. Some people
it's
prefer to
normal.
eat later, but it's normal. Yeah, and then they go to bed at like 7:30.
Fair enough. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Tori, his lovely girlfriend,
Yes.
Anne-Marie,
Mm-hmm.
your cousin,
My cousin.
is the owner and CEO of Cloud Cookie.
That's right.
Who some of you may have heard of at this point because it is
Right.
what the kids say, blowing up.
Yeah, that's
on,
right. And
on
I
TikTok.
would say at this
We
point
shouldn't promote them anymore because they're oversaturated.
No, we should promote them. I was just gonna say I'm gonna be there this weekend, but you all will hear this after I'm already home.
Yeah. So Chris, how was Chicago?
Oh, it was
Cloud
great.
Cookie?
Yeah, it was great.
Did
But no,
help
you
box
all
up a lot of cookies?
you all should go there and meet my cousin Anne Marie because
Yeah.
she does a great job. Cookies are
Or just
very
order
good.
some cookies.
Yeah, order some. Actually, yeah, that's what you should. That's what y'all should do. Actually,
I am curious if like you go on their website right
go
now.
to cloudcookie.com.
Does it say that they're like booked out for 3
No,
weeks?
you
or
should be able to
something?
order. You should order a box,
Cloud.
or I could
Cookie.
probably just send you a box.
Is it Cloud Cookies? No, it's Cloud. For
Cloudcookie.com.
some reason, Google thinks it's Cloud Cookies. Ooh, they only have 4.7 stars.
That's pretty good.
Very good.
4.7 is pretty good.
For a cookie place? Oh, I'm just kidding.
What? For
Because like
anything over 4, I feel like is good
yeah,
for food.
the Cloud
food
Cookie,
place.
our signature cookie covered in powder. These do look banging.
Yeah,
The
I took some
Cloud
of those photos.
Oh, did you?
Some of them, yeah.
Vegan double chocolate. Mom knows best. The basic bish.
Yeah, Mom Knows Best is my Aunt Natalie's recipe.
I almost asked who
Yeah.
it was.
It's her. Aunt Natalie made those cookies all for us growing up, and now you can get them at Cloud Cookie.
She's got a great website, I gotta say. It's very well formatted. It gets directly to the point of like,
Yep.
there's no like home page that you gotta scroll. You see the cookies immediately.
Yeah,
And all of them have a little order now thing underneath.
yeah,
It's visually appealing. Loads well on mobile.
yeah.
So if I click order now, what kind of order would you like to place? Curbside, delivery, or ship? Wow, yeah, this is
Ship.
very well done. I need to
Yeah,
see
so
the
all of you should go to
website.
cloudcookie.com and order box cookies. They are a little bit expensive, but you have to consider they're big. They're big
Are they?
cookies. They're huge
Okay,
cookies, and
all right.
also they're getting packaged. They're getting shipped. They're getting personally delivered to
Yeah.
UPS store.
$50 for a 12 pack. I imagine that's the shipping. What if it's curbside? How much is a 12 pack?
I think it's like
Oh, they use Toast Tab.
$36 or $40 or something.
Order now. I
I
cannot.
think,
order now
the
because they're
cookies are like
closed.
$3 or $4 a piece.
Oh yeah. Box of 6 is 22. Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I should just bring you some. Well, you're gonna be gone all. They're gonna be stale by the time.
Maybe when we go to.
Although
or from,
if they stay sealed, they'd probably be okay because she ships them all over the country.
if we go to or from Mama this year, through Chicago, we should
we
maybe
can stop
spend an
and grab
extra hour
some.
and a half, swing in,
Yeah.
grab Cloud Cookies and like Portillo's or something, and then keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Lou Malnati's.
Is that one of the ones that like
Mhm.
does deep dish
Chicago
or something?
pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love Chicago pizza.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
I'm
a
really
huge
not
fan
a big
either.
fan.
No.
I don't know what it is. I had it back when I worked at that office in Chicago for a
Mhm.
summer, another internship.
Well, it's more of a.
It just
pie.
wasn't great. It,
Yeah.
they got it for us, and I think that could have been part of the problem is they got so many that like by the time all of them were made and sitting and then moved, it was just kind of like it was like lukewarm, and it just wasn't. It was like soggy.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of
good.
the good characteristics of pizza. I mean, a pizza, you want a good texture and a lot of good, like, strong flavors. All the flavors in a Chicago kind of mold and meld, and it's just a mush.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's almost like you got to be ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the crispiness, the texture thing.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I would try it again. I want to get one that's like fresh out of the oven. I can bite into it. It's like hot, and I don't know.
You like Buddy's Pizza?
I do.
Yeah.
That's Detroit style, though.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because they put the cheese on top. Chicago, the cheese is under the sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird as well.
Waterfall.
A little winter. Did you see the Northern Lights are hot last night and tonight?
I don't know what that means.
The Northern Lights?
That means we can see them?
Well, we maybe could down here. Alyssa's brother, who lives in the UP, sent photos, and it was like vibrant. It was like literally just looking up from his backyard, like there's a big solar flare or something, and they're hitting hard.
That's so cool. I want to see those.
One time in high school, I was driving home, and it was the evening, and the Northern Lights came on so bright that it like caught my eye as I was driving. I looked up, and there's just red just in the sky, and I was like, dang, that's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Because right about Harbor Springs is about where like average Northern Lights, like about as low as they go.
Yeah.
45 degrees or so.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, it was. I feel like I was going to say one more thing regarding non-car stuff before we dig in. Well, how about you tell us about the Porsche 911 Carrera that you drove this week?
Yeah. I did a little night drive on the base Carrera. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Take the Carrera T, put a PDK in it, put a back seat in it, and give it heated elements.
Was it a little less exciting to drive it on these roads than the Malibu Canyons?
Yes, it was, but the snow tires made it very tail happy.
Ooh, that's fun.
It was all over the place. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I left traction on and everything, but it was still stepping out on me.
Yeah.
Very quick. Also, I did a launch control. They boing off the line just for a base 911. A 0 to 60's got to be under 4 seconds. It's like it feels like it's like 3.5.
Here's the thing: if I were to buy a 911, anything outside of a GT3, I would just get the base car.
Even though you can't get a manual, you can get a PDK.
Oh well, I might get the T.
So you get a Carrera T.
I'd probably get a Carrera T, but I get the base motor, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Because you can tune it up to S levels.
Yeah.
Or above.
Yeah.
It's literally all just software.
I think I'd just get a Cayman.
Yeah, but that's you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the looks of I like the looks of your Cayman better than the 718.
Well, I do too, but I'd still get a Cayman. I don't know. I like the 911, but I would just if I'm spending $100, well, the base car I drove was like $117,000. At that point, I'm just getting a Cayman GT4. It's the same price.
Yeah.
For a Cayman GT4, you can get, or a base 911.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'd have the Cayman.
I think it just depends on how you're going to use it.
Or save money and get a GTS 4-liter. You can literally have access to the 4-liter that you can get in the 911.
Yeah.
For like $90,000 in a Cayman GTS.
Yeah.
What are you gaining in the 911?
Refinement, if you're gonna road trip it. Yeah, or ability to take your children in it, but you're not intending on having.
No,
those,
you don't.
So.
And you're not gonna take children. I guess you take young children in a 911, but then they're getting sick all over your 911. So why would you want that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want 4 seats, you just get the LC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you want unusable rear seats, the LC is great for that.
Well, or if you get a convertible, then they're usable again because
you can
infinite
put your
headroom.
feet out the roof.
If you scoot the seats up, there's enough. There's
if you scoot the seats up and make it so the driver can't drive, you could scoot the passenger seat up. Yeah, that'd be fine. Fit a third person in there. Mm-hmm. The back seat in the LC is good for 2 things: either sitting behind the passenger or sitting across it long ways.
Yeah, that's what my mother did when we took a Camaro downstate. She just sat
long ways in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Camaros are rough for that. I once sat in the back of a Hyundai Tiburon.
Ooh, wow!
For I think 4 hours. Where are we going? It's funny. My buddy Dan, that now has a C7 Z06, in college he drove a Tiburon.
Is that the one that blew up?
Yeah, the C7
First
that
day
blew
he
up.
got it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
He went from a Tiburon to a. If we're talking about dailies, he literally went from a Tiburon to a Nissan GTR to an Audi R8 to a C7 Z06. He had a C5 Corvette in there.
But it wasn't a daily.
But it was like a second car. Maybe he did daily. Maybe he did. Maybe he went Tiburon C5 Corvette GTR, which even still is like a big change. But
was the Tiburon decent?
The Tiburon was a good car for him. Yeah, I don't think it like ever had any problems. He had it like lowered on coilovers, and it had an exhaust. It was a manual, 6-speed. I think it was a 6-speed manual. We roll raced him and my IS300, and he beat me by like half a car length.
I feel like I never see those either, like on Facebook Marketplace or in person.
They've all been crashed.
The only reason I ever even knew about them was Need for Speed Underground 2.
Yeah,
that was considered to be one of the best cars to buy near the beginning of your career.
Well, it was a V6.
Yeah,
front wheel drive V6, 6-speed manual. I didn't think it was a bad looking car.
No, it was fine. It was inoffensive.
Yeah.
Kind of in the way that your Cobalt is like not sexy, but also not like ugly. Right. It's just there.
I think the Tiburons had rust issues. His was pretty rusty. Like the doors were like rotted, the bottom of the doors.
You know what's another mid 2000s excellent car that suffers from rust issues? The Mazda 3.
Those are awful.
They're all gone.
They're all rusted
because of the rust.
Bad. Yeah,
it's a shame because those were great cars.
Those rust horribly. Even the Speed 3s, obviously they're still a 3, but yeah. The Mazda 3s, honestly, every Mazda from that era. The Mazda 6 is rusted really bad also. Issues. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with Mazda's rust prevention measures, but they were not.
Right.
They were not doing it.
Another vehicle that rusts badly from them than that I knew you wouldn't care about is the Ram 1500.
Those still rust, don't they?
Probably.
Yeah. I don't think there's ever been a generation of Ram that hasn't just rotted into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not quality vehicles.
I got to use my 2500 a bit last week, my F250. Drove it. I had to drive it to the garage the other night because the ID.4 was charging after my HFE because I couldn't run the HFE earlier in the day because the car didn't charge. And so I got to drive it then. And then I pulled a tree out with it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to use the Maverick, but then Alyssa had to go do Target things, which women like to do.
You should have sent her in the F250. No one would have messed with her.
That's true. Yeah. She still has yet to drive that, but before I sell it, I would like her to drive it at least once, just to like, because the seat doesn't go up and down.
For her to be frustrated.
I don't know. She might feel cool.
Yeah,
it might be like a complex with it. You know how
it's true.
Little girl, big truck. It's a fun car. It's a fun truck to drive around.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier to drive than the diesel was. Because it's shorter and it's gas and everything, and it just kind of going. We towed with it the other week, and it towed great.
The Miata, yeah.
Yeah. It just chugged right along.
Sweet. How'd the dolly do with the proper straps?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things where since I wasn't driving Amos's car, I was driving my own, I cared less what happens. And also the Miata was a piece of crap. So, like, literally the whole thing could have careened into the side and would have been like, huh.
You'd have been like, oh, okay. And then just kept driving. Just abandoned it there. We don't want the dolly anyways.
Right, exactly.
Just not inviting you to come steal it, by the way.
Right. Even though it literally sits out there with like,
it's got a lock.
It's got a lock. Yeah, crazy that he locked the dolly that he doesn't care.
You could just
didn't lock the trailer.
You could just pick it up and walk away with it. It's
and then just like somehow like weld off the lock later on. But I think those are cheap enough that people don't really care.
I don't think people steal those. No, they're not much.
Right.
Talk about
this
cars?
week at Daily Motor headquarters, we have the. Let's talk about the Kia first.
Okay.
The Kia Niro hybrid electric vehicle.
Okay.
I quite like this car.
I like it too.
I think this is the best Niro. I mean, I haven't driven the FEV, but I just can't see the argument to pay more when you still get 50 miles per gallon easy in this car.
Oh, yeah. No, easy. And it's cool because the trip refreshes every time. So you can be like, oh, how much I'm going to get. I drove from here to the Topher's house and got 55 mpg. It was like it's like 20 miles or something. 55 mpg. It got 45 on the highway fuel, so it actually met its EPA rating at 70
which for a hybrid
miles per
is
hour,
remarkable.
Which is remarkable,
especially in colder weather.
I was expecting it to get high 30s. I was like, I would probably get 38, 39. No, it met its 45 mile per gallon EPA, so that was great.
Yeah,
and I think it looks the part. It looks unique. It's like wagon architecture. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, wagon without looking like nerdy. It also, I think if you get one of the more basic trims with the smaller wheels, you get even better fuel economy.
Yes.
So you could probably kiss 50 on the right day on the highway.
Yeah.
Also, this needs to not be overlooked. I would probably consider it to be a compact vehicle, but its rear seats are genuinely usable.
Yeah,
like the
it's big.
space. Like I sit back
Yeah.
there and the recline is comfortable. The knee room is comfortable. Like it's not like something like a Corolla. Like when you're in that Corolla
You
class,
can't
it's
use
like
a Corolla.
it's
no.
tight. Like you could fit back there as an adult, but you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
Even like the 3 Series, like not a ton of room back there. This Niro has genuine amount,
Yeah.
like
It's like the Honda Civic.
adults could hang out back there, and then the trunk area, very usable space.
Yes.
I think the sound system may be a little different in this one because there's a big subwoofer under the floor, whereas in the back, in the trunk area.
Oh, okay.
Whereas I don't think
I
that
doubt
would have
it's
been there in the
EV.
electric.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably put it in the side wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound as good.
Yep.
Yeah, I've enjoyed driving it around. I went to the launch event actually of the Niro, so I drove it quite a bit. We talked about that last week, but it's been a good experience. I don't think there's been anything. I mean, obviously your stupid bings and bongs and beeps and everything, but I feel like it doesn't beep as much.
It doesn't seem to beep as much.
It still beeps, but it hasn't beeped at me as much as some of the other cars. I think it's because it has less things
Yes.
to beep at you.
How was the highway driving assist when you? I mean, you're going to drive it more on the highway here this weekend, but
it was
in the
good.
fuel economy test,
It was good.
You just kind of take your hand off and let it
do its thing. It yells at you every 30 seconds or so, and
Whatever,
you
no
just
big deal.
go like that and take your hand right back off. So it's fine.
It's a bit less of a complaint in this car because it is only $36,000, but Kia and Hyundai need to get their act together when it comes to wireless CarPlay and Android Auto.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of inexcusable. Like, I gave them the pass the first year or two when they switched to the new system, and they're like, well, the bigger screen, like you don't get it. It's like, okay, you get a year. But after that should be your main priority is getting that figured out. Because you have a wireless charger. So why not be able to just get in the car, toss your phone on the wireless charger, and then drive?
Yeah.
But I appreciate how easy that car is to use because you get in, you got that big old shifter, which I could take or leave, but I admit it's very easy to just grab, chuck it into drive. Heated seat, heated steering wheel. You can do one press with
go
two,
like this.
Yeah, 2 fingers. You just cling.
Yeah.
They both turn on.
Full.
You drive away. The steering is super light.
Yep.
You never have to change drive modes because why would you want anything but eco in that car?
There's only 2 drive modes, which is great.
Eco and sport, and sport's
You just use sport if you're merging. Get you that instant throttle response.
Right. And it just works. Like the gauge cluster works.
Yep.
Everything in that car is made to just make your stupid commute less frustrating.
Yep.
And you go to the gas station less because you got great fuel economy.
That's right.
Emily should have one.
It's only got an 11. I told her that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have her drive it some.
Yeah.
It's got an 11-gallon fuel tank, which is okay. I mean, if you're getting around town,
if you got over 40, that's over 400 miles.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, you were talking a lot about how easy this car is to just get in and do your commute. You don't have to think about it. So imagine how I felt going. I had the whole beginning of the week. I had this wonderful Kia Niro, and then abruptly a Volkswagen ID.4,
which is one of the most difficult cars to live with.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's so annoying to live with. I am not upset at all that I only spent a day in it.
There are things that are not bad about the ID.4, but it does seem like they took every element, like they sat down in a room and thought, okay, all these things that are easy and straightforward in most of our cars, like the Jetta, how can we make them more difficult?
Yes.
Just to be cool.
It's almost like they're trying to make it hard. Like you get in, okay? I got in this morning, put my foot on the brake, everything's firing up. I plug my phone in, which does that have wireless CarPlay? Okay, so
that's something.
I plug my phone in. It's like loading and loading. Meanwhile, I can't turn on any heated elements because it's loading. The screen is loading. It loads for like 30 seconds. And then you like click the heated seat thing and it brings up the menu. It doesn't turn it on right away. And then you have to hit the heated seat and the heated steering wheel.
And you have to be okay with waiting. You have to just trust that your input went in because it's about a 2-second delay for it to show.
Exactly.
And if you double press it, then it turns it
back off, which I also did yesterday. And at this point, your CarPlay might have connected, in which it doesn't auto default.
It doesn't bring it up on the screen.
It doesn't bring it up. So then you have to exit out of climate, and then you have to hit the home button, and then you have to hit Apple CarPlay. It's just, I was sitting in the garage for like 5 minutes this morning, like getting everything ready. It's just like, I just want to get in the car and go.
Yeah.
Which the Volkswagen engineers go, well, if you own the car, everything's already set. But it isn't, because weather changes.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
You get in the car and have all this. Our infotainment's very clever because you remember that scorching email they sent after I reviewed the Golf R, and I was very nice about the Golf R. There was like a 20-minute review, and 19
Mark was so
of the minutes.
tilted about every journalist on the face of the earth complaining about the infotainment, and rather than being like, "Oh yeah, we probably messed that up," just got mad at everybody to be like, "It's fine."
I was literally so nice about the Golf R. I got 1.3 million views on that video of me being nice about the Golf R, and maybe 30 seconds of it I was like, the infotainment's not that great, but we've already talked about it, and I didn't even go into detail. That's what I get for trying to be nice about a Volkswagen. And now I'm not being nice because the ID.4 is very annoying.
1.8 million views now.
That's Chris's with the DSG.
Oh.
The manual has 1.3 million, I believe.
Need you check it every
So we've got combined. Well,
right,
I happened to check it a couple days ago. That's why I know.
Okay.
We've got combined almost 3 million. No, we've over 3 million. We have 3 million views on the Golf R. So you're welcome, Volkswagen. We've probably sold you a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Actually,
you literally had.
We have sold. We have sold you a car. I sold you a car to the guitarist, the guitarist of Aerosmith's son. So there you go.
But you're not going to sell an ID.4 to him.
No, we won't be selling him an ID.4.
We also should point out that we were instructed that we would be receiving a ID.4 Pro S when we recorded the podcast earlier this week, and have since confirmed that it is not a Pro.
It's not a Pro.
It's just an S.
Not necessarily a bad thing, though.
Not necessarily a bad thing. It's usable range, not on highways, just about 200 miles, which is still more than our Tesla was, the Model Y, and this costs significantly less than a Tesla Model Y.
Yeah, so it's 44 grand.
44 grand.
But isn't there a tax credit right now?
You can get the if you're eligible, you can get the $7,500 tax credit with it because it's manufactured in Mexico, and just like the 330e, which we should point out.
That's right. We got harassed?
Someone
not harassed, but we got yelled at.
Someone said the amount of misinformation this channel shares makes me sick, I think is what he said.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive. People
tell them to get off our channel then. We literally don't want you here. If you're listening, go get off of our channel.
People just get so dramatic on the internet. I don't understand.
Yeah. And we can do without it, and we don't want you here. So goodbye.
You get the only things I can think you get dramatic about are takeovers and gross things in cars.
Me?
Yeah.
And the Volkswagen ID.4 being annoying.
Yeah. Back to the ID.4.
Well, I don't get dramatic in a mean way. I just get dramatic in like an entertaining way.
Somebody drop a compilation of Chris being angry at people for doing takeovers and gross things. I'm sure it's out there. But
oh yeah, we have to talk about how I found a fingernail in the Niro. We didn't talk about that yet. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
I will say there are things about the ID.4 that I did appreciate. The interior of this one is much more mature than the white one that we had, the first edition. I like how you can get in. You don't have to.
Looks exactly the same.
But it's dark. It's a dark color. And it does have that stitching up on the...
It's a different color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you got to admit the white was a bit juvenile.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I like that you can get in, just put your foot on the brake, and it starts itself right back up.
That's nice,
You get out. I actually don't mind the little shifter up at the top where you just forward and backward.
I kept moving it. I kept almost crashing because I would put it in and drive trying to go into reverse.
Well, that's kind of silly. I think you go backward for reverse and you forward for drive.
Yeah, but inherently that's
backwards. In a normal shifter, it's the other way around. I get that. But
didn't we have this discussion? What other car was backwards?
Probably the ID.4 when we had it.
No, it was after that. There was a car that was wrong.
Well, someone play that back too.
Because I genuinely almost crashed into my garage. I forgot what car it was.
Oh, you almost crashed into the garage in a Genesis product, I think, because you used the rotator knob instead of the shifter.
Well, that was the thing. But there was a car we had recently.
Yeah, you're right. That was something.
The shifter was backwards. Oh, what was it?
I think it was another electric car we had.
Yeah, it was. Was it
Who's made electric vehicles?
It was definitely an electric car.
Yeah.
Was it the Bolt, maybe? No, the Bolt just has a regular...
Bolt has a big old phallic thing. Yeah.
It wasn't a Volvo, because the Volvos do it properly.
It might come to mind.
Okay.
Anyway, I like that. I also like that you don't have to have your foot on the brake in order to change gears. Which is kind of nice. You can
I threw it in a reverse going 10 miles per hour.
Yeah. I like that.
Pull in, drive. You're still driving forward, throw it in a reverse, and whoop.
Yep. So I like that. I did learn what the safe word is.
Weren't you? Sorry. Didn't you guys at Car and Driver put a Bolt in a reverse at 40 miles per hour?
No, I think Chevy told us that you could actually put the Bolt Like you could do that. Like it didn't. No, I think it was my engineer friend at GM told me that the early bolts didn't have a speed limiter for their reverse, so you could do like 50 in reverse and then just like throw it in the drive and take off. But I don't think they do that anymore.
Anyways,
I learned the safe word. It's if you say ID.4, it triggers the
ID. Oh, you probably say hey ID or something.
I was actually giving the sound system a D rating. and it came up and like stopped the music and was like, what do you want me to do? And I got tilted.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Give yourself a better sound. There's got to be a premium option.
There's like a Fender or something like that. Or
I think the first edition we had some.
It was a 7. It was the same system.
It didn't. Oh, okay.
Yep. Which is strange, but
it is.
God, what
else?
What
car was that with this backwards shifter?
What? It's not very fast.
The ID.4?
Yeah.
No. It doesn't even get your belly like most electric cars do.
No, it doesn't make us go.
You mean it doesn't make you go.
You've definitely done that.
No,
too.
I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe in the GT4 RS.
What do you think about the appearance?
It's fine.
I like the red.
I don't know. I feel like Volkswagen could have made this car like so cool and so like Volkswagen is.
I think they think they made it cool, but they didn't.
It's supposed to be the people's car, and it just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not.
Right.
But they are coming out with a new ID thing that's supposed to be more mass produced, the ID.2 or something that just looks like a Golf.
Okay. Well, that in other markets they have a lot of IDs already.
Yeah. Well, there's one. There's going to be a global one,
and the ID Buzz.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've not brought the ID Buzz here yet, because I'd have one.
And just be irritated every morning when it didn't work properly and didn't charge overnight.
Well, I would be an owner, so it would be all properly working for me.
Yeah.
Okay. You also can't disable traction control, which is a bit frustrating because we
Did we ever figure out if it's front wheel drive or rear wheel drive?
It's rear wheel.
It's rear wheel drive. Okay.
You'd never know because it's so slow.
What's the person's name that said we were spreading misinformation?
Mark. Oh, him. Oh, I don't know. Some commenter.
Okay. Well, Mark's from VW, right?
Yeah. It also charges at a decent rate. 9.6 kilowatts, I believe, is the fastest you can level 2 charge it. And that's pretty good for a smaller battery pack because like our Tesla maxed out at 7, I think, or 7.5. Something like that. 32 amps. Yeah.
EV things.
Yeah, you take the voltage and you multiply it by the amperage, and that's how you get your wattage.
I'm still trying to remember.
You divide by 1,000 to get your kilowatts.
I'm still trying to remember what car had a backwards shifter.
It'll hit you while I'm talking about something else. I think that's pretty much all I have.
Oh, and I found a fingernail in the Kia Niro.
Yeah, Kia Niro had a fingernail. If you are a journalist who had the Kia Niro in the last few weeks,
if you're picking off fingernails in the press cars, at least be decent enough to then remove them, please. Yes. I understand some people just pick and whatever, do your thing, but don't leave them in the car because when the car was in park, couldn't see it. Put the car into drive, huge fingernail in the shift boot.
Chris had sick.
Yeah, please don't. I vacuumed it out because I didn't want to touch it, which is silly.
If you'd like your fingernail back, it's sitting in the Topher's vacuum.
That's right.
Did you hear he may be expanding his driveway? Did you hear he may be expanding his driveway?
I did not. Well, he's talked about it before, but
they actually got like a quote.
Oh, they did.
Fairly reasonable and stuff. Yeah, nice. Which he needs to.
He does need to do that.
He needs a compound.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, I was just gonna say something.
Kia Niro, good car.
Yeah, Kia Niro, good car.
Especially when the fingernail was removed, it was an even better car.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Somebody commented and said we should make a podcast episode someday when we need like to record an extra one, if you will, and talk about how we all got our starts with like the Topher and Hardy Road.
Actually,
and everything like that.
I've got a video on that on Topher Drives if you all want to go watch it. It's like a year old. I should probably revise it.
Well, we'll do a podcast episode at some point. I'll talk about like my car and driver days and stuff.
Oh yeah, you can
talk about your Northwood and your dealer days and stuff, which we've speckled things in throughout the podcast. But it would be cool to have
like the storyline.
Yeah.
Talk about how I met the Topher at a Ford dealership.
Yeah, so that'd be a fun one to do. This week at Daily Motor Headquarters, Chris will be driving the 2023 Hyundai Santa Cruz.
Do you know what trim it is?
I can look it up for you.
And Charlie will be on an airplane and also in some sort of BMW and then also in a Prius Prime and then also in a Corolla Cross Hybrid and also along with me in the new Mazda CX-90 in both inline 6 and plug-in hybrid powertrains.
Yeah, the new CX-90 is going to be cool.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, we'll be driving that next week.
It will be a Santa Cruz Limited.
Okay. What color is it?
Gray.
Okay.
Yeah, try to find
Why
something.
is every Hyundai press car gray?
Hampton gray is the actual color. I don't know. Can't help you with that one, mate.
They're either red or gray.
Yeah.
I guess, to be fair, they don't really make any other colors. Blue.
Maybe you should film the night drive on the Maverick next week, and you can.
What Maverick?
My Maverick.
Oh, your Maverick.
And
I have to film
break things
actually
up a little bit.
Yeah, I should be able to do that. I have to film a fixed integration. Totally forgot that I have to do that.
Use the ML. You've already done the ML,
Already
right?
done the ML, and it also doesn't function properly. The new part for it's just sitting on the.
Mm-hmm.
It's been there for a few days.
Do you have any cars with a check engine light?
I'm gonna go to Buttman and get something out of their trade-ins.
See if that Sport Track is available yet.
It's not. It's in the shop. I was just there the other day. I had to do something, and I walked in the shop, and the Sport Track was up on the lift, and the transmission was out of it. So
I wonder if they bought the car knowing it had that many issues.
I don't know, but I know you're interested in filming it, and then my buddy Nate's actually interested in buying it. He's been trying to buy it for like weeks, and they're like, sorry, it's still in the shop, and confirmed that. So
wow.
Unfortunately, or else that'd be a good one. They just got something in the night. Oh, they got a Fusion Sport.
Oh,
like a 2009,
the first,
like a V6,
second gen Fusion, but first gen Fusion.
Yeah,
Sport.
V6 all-wheel drive. So I was considering doing that.
Were those all-wheel drive?
Yeah, some of them were. You could option all-wheel drive. Okay. There's something else I got traded into that was kind of neat. I forgot what it was.
You can just pull a fuse and get a check engine light on it.
Well, I got lucky last time. I filmed a Ranger. It was like a 2004 Ranger, I think, and it had a TPMS light, and Fixed actually read that.
Really? On an 04 Ranger?
It did.
That's
impressive. It read it, and it told me there was a TPMS sensor fault. So that actually worked out perfectly. That video's got like 100,000 views too.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it did great. People love the Ranger. Yeah. So yeah, I gotta go and do that.
We should have compared.
If you have a car, this will come out actually Monday, or no, it didn't come out until Wednesday.
At
that point, it's gonna be too late. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to film it on like Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, sorry that my none of my beaters have check engine lights. I only have
does your F250 not have a check engine light? Of course it doesn't.
That's great. Yeah.
I'll find a car. I'll find.
Well, Dane's car, does it have any check engine lights? The Beamer? Well, you've already shot that car.
Miata does actually. His Miata I should try and film his Miata. It's in storage still, but
what's wrong with the Miata?
Some BS check engine light. You know how 90s cars just get like the stupid check engine light.
Yeah. You think he'd ever want to sell that Miata?
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you want to buy it?
Possibly. I was thinking
you'd probably have to give him $10,000 for it.
I know. I was thinking last night about how much I miss and just the simplicity of
mine too.
And Miata.
It makes me want to cry.
Turn the key and it's such a mechanical feel. And then the shifter, how you could just kind of like one finger just like bloop, bloop, bloop.
Beautifully weighted shifter if you leave the stock shift knob on it.
Yeah. And the steering, which is kind of this like no power steering, like just.
Mine had, but yours didn't have power steering?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow. You must have had some sort of a special one then. If it didn't have power steering.
Maybe
they made them without power steering. That was the thing.
I think,
but it was like the R package. It was like crank windows, no power steering, no AC.
We had all that.
So you had that.
Damn it! Did we have a special one?
Yeah, you did.
And my dad sold it for $1,000.
Yeah, you definitely had a special one. If it had no power steering, no AC, and crank windows. Oh yeah.
I thought it was just super basic.
No. What year was it?
90.
Maybe in 90 that was not a special one.
But it was the first year off the boat. Like the original. We bought it from the original owner.
Did it have rust?
Only like super mild. It was my dad actually had fixed some of the rust on it, some of the upper body rust. The guy who bought it.
Why did he sell it for $1,000?
My father?
Yeah.
Silly dad things. It had.
Is your dad's name Dean?
Yeah.
Dean, why did you sell that Miata for $1,000?
It had some like mouse pee smell in it because mice had gotten in it and peed.
You could have just extracted it.
It was
HVAC.
It was difficult, but it was still worth driving.
It was a convertible though.
Yeah. So it was okay. It was livable. If I didn't own the Boxster, I would have bought it from him. But I was too cool on the Boxster S. I didn't need a Miata. But yeah, the original owner lived in California at the time when he bought it.
Oh, cool.
And he had like seen that like the Miata get launched or whatever, and he was like, I want one of those, and like bought one of the first shipment.
Was it red? Of course.
Perfect Miata.
Mine was also red, though I sold mine for $4,000, which at the time was like
top
dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it was totaled.
When did I sell it? I sold it in 2018 for $4,000, which was like absolute top dollar because I bought it for $3,000, sold it for $4,000.
Nice.
And it's a great car. Limited slip, power windows, 1.8.
Yeah, that's a good car.
One. No rust, not a speck of rust.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Paint was great. Paint wasn't faded at all. Top was good. Seats were immaculate. It had a leather steering wheel. It was like literally, it was such a nice car. Like in today's market, it would probably be like worth like $8,000, $8 or $9,000.
So you're not too excited about this Hyundai Santa Cruz, right?
Nah, I am. Yeah,
it'll be cool to just spend some time. You spent so much time in Mavericks that it'll be good to spend a little time in the Santa Cruz.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
find some truck stuff to do with it.
This is what I think we should do for our 2 cars this week for reviews. We should do reviews as though we were reviewing the car for each other. So have me be your audience for the Santa Cruz video.
Okay, and I'll be your audience. Can you tell me what you're getting?
I will be getting an M8 Competition.
Oh, you don't particularly
Grand Coupe.
You don't particularly like that car.
But don't tell Jeff. It was nice of him to get it to me. Maybe I'll like it better.
I think you're silly for not liking it. I've never driven it.
I was going to say,
so
you've never driven it.
Well, how would you not like it? It's a big, floaty, fast thing.
But it isn't. That's the problem. It's not floaty.
It's not floaty?
You know how the Alpina's...
The Alpina's floaty. That's why I figured it would be floaty.
Yeah. Do you remember how things like the M4, for example, are just this lifeless missile of a machine?
Is that how the M8 is?
M8, but just larger and more powerful.
That's actually really funny.
Yeah.
That's literally the M4, a lifeless missile.
Yeah.
After the F-82.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's impressive, but it isn't like... knowing that the AMG GT-S whatever exists.
Yeah, the sedan.
Yeah.
Did I tell you Pete Davidson crashed his into a house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you showed me the
I didn't say that on the podcast. But
anyway, yeah, I think you and I should shoot our videos like being like, all right, Chris, like here we are. I mean, I will tell you about how the M8 Competition Coupe or Grand Coupe is lifeless, and other people can just witness that.
Okay.
Let's just see how
Hopefully
that goes.
it's a good spec at least.
Yeah, well, let's see what we got. Let's take a look. I would like if it's the same color as Dave's.
Oh, the frozen...
Which is unlikely because that's probably a...
Frozen Portimao?
I think that was frozen Portimao.
No, Portimao was the i4 M50. Dave's is darker blue.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
How do you... Oh, we'll talk about this later.
Okay. M8 Coupe. Ooh, it's a Mola red.
Oh, I hate you.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Imola.
Imola. No photos, but let's get them in honor here.
Imola red. That's going to be sick.
That's going to be
Imola. You know what Imola red is, right?
Yeah.
It's like this. It's like bright red.
Yep. Oh, so it's a coupe. I thought it was a Grand Coupe. It's just a coupe. Ooh, if you pay $5,000 for that Imola red.
It's individual. Of course you do.
Silverstone full leather.
So that's white. You've got white interior. Oh, that's a dope spec. Is it $5,000 or is it 5,200?
It's $4,750.
Does it say individual?
No.
Imola? Maybe it's not individual. It
maybe
has to be.
Maybe on that car.
For
it's not.
$4,750, it's got to be individual color because it's not even. Imola's not metallic. I don't think. Melbourne's metallic. I don't think Imola's.
Oh, good, Chris. In case you were worried, it has the 2 journalist specs: M driver's package and M carbon exterior package.
Oh, great.
Yeah. It's an
good.
extra $8,000 on the car.
Ooh,
for that.
how much is this car?
$1,050.
What are you talking about?
$158,000.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. Do you know where it's finally assembled?
Probably in... They probably do that one in Germany, or they do it in South Africa.
Dingolfing.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be
the funniest thing for a while was we had 3 cars at my parents' house.
Okay.
My Cayman S, my dad's Focus RS, and my mom's 3 Series. Out of the 3 cars in the garage, 2 of them were German. One of them was American. The 2 German cars were not made in Germany, and the 1 American car was made in Germany. I just thought that was funny.
Where was your Cayman built? Belgium? Slovakia?
Starts with an S.
Slovenia?
No. Somewhere.
All right.
My mom's car was built in South Africa.
Somewhere is an S, you're right.
South Africa was my mom's 3 Series. My dad's car is built in Germany, Focus RS, and then I'll tell you where it was built. You're a Europe enthusiast, so I actually do want to tell you.
It's probably Slovakia.
I think
because that's close to Germany.
Yeah, I think Slovakia.
cheap labor. It's like their Mexico. I don't know if I will have offended anyone with that one, but I think it's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
While Chris looks that up, yeah, I've got the M8 Coupe next week. Chris has the Santa Cruz, and yes, I will be driving the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid, which is a good thing.
Oh, I was wrong. Finland. I forget Finland is a country.
Yeah, it's very much a country. My favorite band is from Finland.
Why did I think, probably because my mother's is South Africa, so I was thinking S.
Mm.
Yeah, my Cayman was built in Finland.
Finland.
It's
a good country.
Finland's a good country.
Finland is one of the happiest countries in the world.
So there's a bunch of happy people building.
I would be happy if I were building a Cayman too.
Yeah.
I am excited that Toyota is doing the Corolla Cross in a hybrid form, because if you're going to drive a boring car like the Corolla Cross,
might as well be a hybrid.
It might as well be a hybrid. You're right.
Aren't they a CVT anyways?
Yeah. It's a pretty...
I think that Corolla Cross was one of the most forgettable vehicles I've ever driven.
Yeah, what would you rather be stuck driving?
It was so forgettable that I haven't forgotten it. Because it was...
That I actually get your logic on that one. Yeah. Which would you rather be stuck with for 2 years? Corolla Cross or an HRV?
Ooh.
I know what my answer would be. It'd be the HRV.
Hopefully you wouldn't have to get into traffic very quickly.
Hopefully
I think the Corolla Cross is a little quicker than the HRV, so I think I'd actually probably go with the Corolla Cross.
Really?
I like the HRV. It's so like scary slow.
Mm. I would pick the HRV, aside from the fact that it smells weird inside.
It does smell weird, yeah.
Because at least you have the little drive mode selector to make fun noises when you're sitting bored in traffic.
Beep, 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 beep.
And also, I feel like when people look at you in the HRV, they'd go, "Oh, well, at least they bought a Honda. Like they have some soul." If you buy the Corolla Cross, I feel like they're just like, you went into a Toyota dealer because your parents said so, and you
plaster that
you
they
said,
form into the shape of a
"This
car.
is my budget. Give me car." And they said, "Here you go.
Here's car."
Yep, and you left.
Do you think the Corolla Cross is the most just like car
at this point in time? Yeah.
If you were like, I need a car, and then you think more so than like an Equinox or a Trax?
Yes, because I think a Trax buyer really needs to save a lot of money. Like they need, so maybe to an extent, but they're almost being strategic with how little they spend.
Yeah.
The Equinox is definitely close, but they've at least said that like, I want to have a little bit of space, I feel like. The Corolla Cross, I feel like, is more someone who set out to be like, I need a new car.
And then
this is what they've gotten. And then the Prius Prime I'm actually quite excited for, because I like Priuses.
You're going to have to order one while you're there.
I like plug-in hybrids, and I've heard great things about this new Prius.
You're going to approach Jen in the evening with a drink and say, I think I need to order one of those. And she's going to say, okay, well, we can probably make something work there, and then you'll have a Prius Prime.
Wow.
It's exactly how it's going to happen.
I think we're just going to keep the Maverick forever. I love that little thing.
Yeah, the Maverick's good.
Mm-hmm. And then CX-90, we've already said it's going to be good.
Yeah, do we have drive partners for that or no?
I don't know, but I would happily be your drive partner.
I was going to say, if we do, will you please be my partner?
Tedward might be there.
No, he's
different wave.
Different wave. Yeah, he's before us.
His isn't even going to cross over with ours.
He leaves the day we get in, so we won't see him.
Rats.
Because he'll leave probably pretty early, and we get in like midday, I think.
Yeah. I will be flying up the coast.
I will be asleep probably the day I get there. So I'm gonna be tired.
Yeah, because you'll be having so much fun in that Santa Cruz the first few days.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a really easy Monday next week, because all you'll have to do is come in here. You'll have an ID.4 swapped for a Santa Cruz, and then you get to go home.
Yeah, will you give them my number so I don't have to get up early?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good reminder. I need to do that.
Yeah.
Remind me to tell Joe about Chris getting the car tomorrow. No, dude, I hate this. Remind me to message Joe today at 2 p.m.
You guys also enjoy watching boomers try to figure out how to work their technology. It's so interesting. Just see it kind of like bounce off of his eyes. Did you watch any of that TikTok? I'm joking, by the way.
I was going to say, I've owned probably 20 times more phones.
You're way more, you're actually genuinely, you know how to work more things than I do. But the reason that's on my mind is I was watching that TikTok hearing. Did you watch any of that with Congress?
No, but Congress knows nothing about
technology. I think you would throw up.
I remember when they were grilling Zuckerberg. It was a similar.
They were okay. Well, one of them asked if TikTok connects to his Wi-Fi. Does TikTok? Can I pull it up, please?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. We're nearing the 1 hour mark, so anything that's still on the rails can go off the rails.
I just want you to feel the pain, and I'll play it into the mic.
The cringe.
So people can hear it.
Are Gen Zs into cringe?
No.
I feel like late millennials like cringe.
So let me play you this one. This is just kind of a compilation of the dumbass questions that they ask.
All right, let's hear it.
Teenagers out there and then TikTok influencers who think we're just old and out of touch and don't know what we're talking about.
Can you tell me right now, can you say with 100% certainty that TikTok does not use the phone's camera to determine whether the content that elicits a pupil dilation
That's actually a fair question.
By the algorithm? Can you tell me that?
We do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users. We do not.
You don't?
No. The only face data that you will get is when you use the filters to have, say, sunglasses on your face. We need to know where
I mean, your light would turn on your phone when your camera's enabled.
You're not seeing if they're dilated?
And that data is stored on your local device and deleted after use if you use it for facial.
Has TikTok at any time fed precise GPS information collected from U.S. users into algorithms to make inferences about users? Has TikTok at any time provided the Chinese government with either precise GPS information collected from U.S. users or inferences made from that
She doesn't know. She just has no idea what.
No.
Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the.
So if I have a TikTok app on my phone and my phone is on my home Wi-Fi network, does TikTok access that network?
You will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question.
My last point is this.
I do feel a bit bad for that. Yeah, that Chinese guy after that.
The last one.
Yeah,
Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Does TikTok access my Wi-Fi? And then he goes on to say, if it's on my Wi-Fi, can it access other devices on my Wi-Fi?
I mean, I get where the heart is coming from for a lot of those questions, because what he probably means to think is like, can
it hack into my things?
Well, or can it know that you also own a smart TV and that you also say like own a MacBook Pro and an iPad, so then it can therefore market things to you based on those. Like, it's not an off the wall question, I guess, but it's the way that they're coming across as so.
They don't care about any of that. They just want to get rid of TikTok because it's a competitor for Meta, and they're being lobbied.
Maybe.
I
don't know.
Why else would they care?
Because
they don't care. They don't care about us. You realize that, right?
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
I don't think that's true. Think this is kind of the benefit of the doubt that I give to elected officials. You work for a few different YouTube channels here that have varying from 5,000 to 1.2 million, nearly 1.1 million subs.
Yeah.
Think about all of the commenters we've just talked about, who say things about you that like, oh, you don't know this or that, or like you just drive these cars for whatever reason, like making these assumptions about you that are totally out of base, and you know how you got to where you are.
Right.
It's not like someone just plucked you off the street and said like, here, make this show. Like, you understand that you genuinely got there somewhere. I do think it's the same way for most elected officials. Like, we see them where they are now, and we're like, oh, they're obviously just in the pockets of all these companies. But most elected officials got there through grassroots. Like, someone like you and I started and decided they want to make a change, make a difference. That's not saying that they haven't gotten corrupted somewhere along the line, but it would be the same thing as someone saying to you, well, Chris, you're going out and being flown to this Mazda CX-90 event, like, and you're being dined and everything like that. You're obviously in the pocket of Big Mazda.
Yeah. I think it's more serious when they're making decisions for millions of people, and I'm just a person.
You're making decisions for millions of people. What you have to say about cars goes out to literally millions of people. You have a TikTok right now, or not an Instagram reel that has over 4 million views. And no, yes,
But
the consequences of yours are much lower.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about people who, with their own free will, can go out and buy cars and everything.
Right.
But I do still think the heart of the matter with most elected officials, I think people think that just because you're in Congress or whatever, you've like sworn this blood oath somewhere and with like Jeffrey Epstein and like all these things. Being an elected official in Congress is not that prestigious. Like it's not that hard to do. You need a lot of money. Yes, I'll agree with you on that. And often that comes from a lot of corporate donors who will like
Big Zuck.
assume you're going to give. But just in the same way that people would assume that the fact that we have an ID.4 outside or Porsche gives you a Cayman GT4 RS, they're going to assume you're going to give it a positive review. See what I mean? It's like they are real people at the end of the day. Is that fair?
I guess.
Okay.
A lot of them are lizard people, though.
I will agree that once you get into high ups like president and those levels, and especially appointed positions, things like Department of Energy and stuff like that are picked, then there's a lot more of like it's who you know and you've done deals and stuff like that.
I get what you're saying, and I get that they're people, but I don't understand why they choose the issues they choose to fight. So like I don't get why they're fighting against TikTok when there's like other things that they should be.
I think it's
because it's like it's something they can accomplish faster. Why are they using their energy? Like they're using all their energy. We gotta ban TikTok when there's like other things that are like life and death for people that are not happening.
Right. I agree that's a little out of priority perhaps. Now to be fair, you're seeing one day of their work because that was a hearing that was scheduled to happen. It'd be similar if you and I were to review, say, a VinFast car.
Yeah.
And you and I were to spend an entire day talking about how crap it is. People could take that out of context and be like, well, why is their whole thing just to like try to like beat down Vietnamese cars and everything like that? Whereas what we're trying to do is genuinely say like, hey, this car's not good.
Yeah.
What they might be thinking is, if there is a genuine risk, which maybe there's been evidence to support this because Trump has said so and now Biden, that there's a possibility the Chinese government is using TikTok as a way to influence Americans, which is plausible. I use iFunny, and that's owned by Russians, and you can definitely see the Russian influence on that app, 100%. Like just in like the things that like come through for like the simps on there being all like Russian supporters.
It's just the way that they were arguing it just seemed so non-genuine because they're like, oh, there's challenges on TikTok that cause kids to die. Okay, well,
right.
Every other social media is the same. They need to ban all.
We
social
saw the
medias
same thing when Zuckerberg was there on trial, and the same thing for them being like, all these things. They're given notes from aides and from assistants and everything like that to like act like they know what they're talking about. I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I do think TikTok is here with the free market, and if we're gonna have a free market economy, these things you have to let it exist.
Yeah.
The only way to beat it is to build something better. There's a reason why TikTok has done so well, and you can have the same argument for cars. You can have the same argument for phones. I mean, look at Apple, for example. The only reason that we don't all use Chinese phones is because Apple has made a better product.
Yeah.
You
like Chinese phones. You have liked Chinese phones.
We're recording on a Chinese phone right now.
Oh, is it Chinese?
Yes, it is.
So is it sending all of our data directly to the Chinese government?
Could be.
Yeah.
There's a phone manufacturer, two of them, Huawei and ZTE, that were banned from being sold in the U.S. The Google Play Store was taken off them because of the Chinese spying.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not a new thing. The Chinese Communist Party definitely is, liable to this sort of stuff. But we've seen this with Chinese companies dating back decades. So like you may already know this, but for some of you who don't, in order for an American car company to sell cars in China, they have to have at least 50% of their intellectual property open to the Chinese Communist Party over there. And you could argue that like GM and brands like that have lost billions of dollars in competitive edge because they'll go over, and in order to sell to the Chinese people, they have to open up their things, and then the Chinese just copy them, and that's why we see so many new cars that are just like clones.
Yeah,
because the Chinese government has made it so that they have to get access to this stuff.
Yeah.
So you can either choose to be like Apple and build a genuinely better and more competitive product, or you can go to the government and be like, meh, like ban them because it's not fair.
Yeah.
That's what Harley Davidson did in the 70s against the Japanese, against Honda and stuff.
Really? They
Yeah,
tried to get the bikes banned?
Yep, and they did. Reagan put a huge tariff on Chinese imported bikes over a certain cc, and that's why we've seen all the Japanese bikes have these little motors that do big power, and the Harley bikes are like 2 liters and can barely make anything because Chinese complain, because Harley just was like, Mom, it's not fair. And we see the same thing with the chicken tax on small trucks. American manufacturers couldn't keep up with the little tiny trucks, and so we just put a huge tariff on anything under a certain size, and that's why like we've never had small trucks in America. We never had like the Hilux and things like that. And these tiny things. The only way to do it was like the way Mazda did with the
Ranger thing.
The Ranger combo. Yep. Yeah. So I'm 50-50. I agree that a lot of the older elected officials are out of touch and that they get elected by getting a lot of money. That's the best way to get elected.
Yes.
But I also do think they're real people who if you had a coffee date with them, their genuine interests would be for the people. Just like you and I genuinely do care about people buying a proper car, even though we come on here and joke like, oh, ID.4 sucks. It's because we genuinely think you'd have a better time in a Kia EV6.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning and had a Copart notification that one of my cars was going up for bid.
Oh, okay.
It was that Mini Cooper Clubman Countryman that had gotten
manual?
so ass-packed that you were like, there's this totaled 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's that. Not very exciting.
All right.
Also, I've stopped looking up Super Duties because I've been busy. That's all I was doing for a while. Is literally
looking up Super Duties.
Yep. It's just like that would be my going to bed ritual.
Yeah. Well,
do you still look at Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and all those things even when you're going to bed with Emily?
Yeah.
Like, does she do her phone thing and you do yours or something and then you guys fall asleep?
Yeah.
Alyssa and I don't do that. That's interesting. We've never.
I think it's the age difference, the generation.
Maybe. We look at things on one phone together. We look at memes together or
Facebook
Reels.
Emily and I will scroll TikTok together on my phone.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason, we just have never done the single each
or she'll like watch me look at cars. She'll be like, I like that one.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's cute. It's a nice wholesome way to end this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to episode 66 of the Daily Motor Podcast.
Yeah. And contact your Congress member and tell them not to ban TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Send them a letter and be very nice
and
just say, I don't want you to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of banning TikTok, just have someone create a better version.
Yeah.
Snapchat's a good example. Like Snapchat built a great product, but now it's going by the wayside because they haven't innovated.
Yeah.
Do you use Snapchat with people outside of me?
Yeah. I probably use Snapchat with like a handful of people. I used to like really use it in high school, but now I'm.
Do you think it'll be gone in a few years?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't post on my story.
Yeah.
Because I just do Instagram because I've got like 100 times the amount of people on Instagram than I do on Snapchat. So
the only time I like posting on the Snapchats instead of Instagram is because it's like my close circle.
It's like close friends. Yeah, but you can set close friends on Instagram though.
Yeah, that's true.
So like there's no real reason.
And I also like sending things on Snapchat if they're pictures that are stupid enough that I don't want it to be like cluttering up our text message feed.
It's also just like a quick thing if you just want to pull out, snap a photo and send it to a couple people, like whatever. Or if you want to be if you want to be like sketchy and not have receipts, you can use Snapchat.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people would do in high school when they were, trying to be.
I had Chandler Horning sent me his social security number and everything for for 1099 through Snapchat so that it would get deleted. Which I thought was pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll be back next week to tell you about all these great cars we drove, as well as you'll still be here, but you will be prepping for a trip to Hocking Hills.
Oh yeah.
Next time we record. And I might go for a day with you guys. I might just ride a motorcycle. We'll see.
Oh,
depends
on
how gassed.
Yeah, you should.
How gassed I am.
In the Stromboni.
I do really want to go with you guys. I've just been traveling so much, and we got to go out to Alyssa's that weekend.
I was gonna say if I were you, I probably wouldn't, but I personally, selfishly, would like you to come.
And you will be driving the 6-speed manual Supra, which I've never driven. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. Is that a Chris car or is that an us car?
I think it's booked under Chris, but like
I'll just take it from
he's
his
going to drive
house.
the Civic. So
Yeah.
like, and I'm sure you guys will flip flop throughout your
Yeah,
trip.
we will. Yeah. I'm
Cool.
excited to spend some time in the Type R as well.
Yeah.
So
We still haven't gotten a new Honda Accord. We need to get one of those.
Oh my gosh! Before we end, I saw a new Accord with a pizza delivery magnet.
I saw that one too, the dark gray one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Someone bought a new Accord and is delivering.
I'm like,
pizzas
I
in
haven't
it.
even driven one of these yet. Someone's already delivering pizzas in it. That's so cool.
Yeah. I wonder if he
thought that
bought
was
it
funny.
from Fisher.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I love that you saw that too. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, I
I
saw
tried
it
to get a
yesterday.
photo because I wanted to send it to Tedward and Chris, but I couldn't get it in time because
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
coming towards me, so I couldn't like get my phone out.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes don't you wish you were wearing your POV all the time for just the crazy things that happen around life.
Yeah.
And we'll talk at you in the next one. We are Chris and Charlie with Daily Motor, and as always,
TikTok on.
TikTok on. Yeah, that's what I was going with. Yeesh, I don't even use it.